CaCO3. CO3? Ca2CO3? So that's right. Got it. Okay. You apply water and calcium carbonate. Now the particulates just turn into a slurry, but the exciting part is getting rid of the SOx, to a lesser degree NOx. This is called wet scrubbing or flue gas desulfurization or SO2 scrubbers. And you take SOx plus water to make sulfuric acid, and when that gets through limestone, you get gypsum. I'm sorry, but you got to know all of that.
Is gypsum like a useful byproduct?
It's saleable. People use that to make concrete, I believe, and to make other masonry stuff.
Yeah, because I have like heard of it.
You have not?
I have.
Yeah. That's the same stuff. So you make a product that you can sell. Scrubbers usually pay for themselves in a few years. Especially if you make coal that has a lot of SOx, you can get pretty clean gypsum in like industrial volumes, like tanker trucks of it, pretty regularly. It's like a significant percentage of the yield of coal. Like if you're using 10 tons of coal, you'll get like a ton of gypsum. Very significant.
What kind of gas?
Sulfur gas, or sorry, flue gas. Flue gas. The smokestack is called the flue. Yeah, it sure has that feel.
I would be surprised if it wasn't.
I'm trying to figure out where to draw my. I think I gotta get rid of this thing. Everybody has this already, right? Yep. Okay. Okay. Now, if you're afraid of chemistry, this might kind of boggle your mind. Let's clean up a car. And in case you didn't know this, catalytic converters are the most expensive single component by weight in a vehicle.
Gotta steal them.
People steal them often. When the economy turns south, people steal catalytic converters much more. So you might have heard there was actually a guy in Santa Barbara last year who apparently got himself a lot of catalytic converters. People call these CATs or CATCONs. They became mandatory in the late 60s, early 70s. And before your car spits off the emissions, those emissions have to go through the catalytic converter. The catalytic converter is a box with a series of layers of mesh. Those mesh layers are made out of really expensive metals. This is why catalytic converters are so expensive. I'm trying to find in my notes which metals they are. It's super steep. Anybody know? There's platinum, rhodium, and something else. There really is platinum.
Yeah, there's a guy down in Clarksville on Twitter.
Oh, dang, I have to come up. Has anybody seen it before? Because I know a person that owns a Tacoma that would probably be just the right guy. Okay, so these have platinum. They have rhodium. Is that RH? Yeah, there it is. And palladium. That's it. Rhodium and palladium.
Those are some expensive metals.
They are some expensive metals. And Tacomas, which have really big engines that have a big catalytic converter high up off the ground, make them a really sought-after target. These rare metals catalyze. Yeah, to catalyze. Yeah, they catalyze 3 reactions at once, and this is the part where people who don't speak chemistry get scared. Watch this. Reduction, oxidation, oxidation. Boys, please be quiet. All right. For some of my students, this is really challenging. If you're comfortable with chemistry, I'll explain this to you first. To everyone else, I'll try to come back in a second. If you speak chemistry, keep in mind, these are simultaneous reactions. You create an environment where all this stuff is mixing. So, NOx will be reduced, carbon monoxide and VOCs will be oxidized. So there is 1 reduction and 2 oxidation reactions at the same time. And the part that I need everyone to know is what goes in. Sorry, let me do a color coding for this. What goes in that's bad, everyone should know that those are criteria pollutants. And what comes out, that's not a criteria pollutant. CXHY, different variables. Let's say you get these to balance. Yeah.
So if you catalytic converters get like super hot.
I reckon that they must get hot, but that heat may be what's required to perform the reduction of NO2. So I don't know if it's, I don't know. Sorry. For those of you who don't speak chemistry, you can get 90% of this content anyway. So here comes the slightly lighter explanation. These metals are highly reactive. So they take nasty stuff in your emissions and bring better stuff out. You have criteria pollutants going in and less harmful materials coming out. There is an interesting side effect, a couple interesting side effects. People who like fast cars might know that these create back pressure, so they slow down your engine. Especially if you have a turbocharger, the catalytic converter almost cancels you out. So have you guys heard about people who like to drive fast removing their catalytic converters? If you don't mind killing people, you can get your car to go a lot faster. Remember, your emissions kill people. But we kill people all the time. I'm sure we're okay. Remember that if you're willing to remove your cat, you can get a lot more performance from your car, but you produce poison emissions. It kills people.
So if you remove the catalytic converter and then you put the car in the garage and put in park and put your back on it, would you use it?
Probably. At least it'll, or it'll at least stall faster. Another thing that's interesting is, does anybody notice that I've put a green underline on another type of pollution? We made a really funny trade. We cut down on poison, but made global poison. Kind of a downer, that you're sort of picking your poison, as it were. With the people. Yeah, right. And finally, let me finish this because I'm almost done. I'll wait. Finally, when you go get a smog check, usually the only thing that they have to change is how much oxygen is coming out of your car. So as long as your emission contains enough oxygen to keep this party going, the right oxygen atoms, then all of this happens on its own. But if you're missing oxygen, you either won't be able to reduce all of these, or you won't be able to oxidize all of these. So really the gas-oxygen blend is the only thing required for a smog check. It's all ways to change how much gas ratio to how much oxygen. Like